know you're saying something low and dirty just to hurt him.
Right.
Okay, then you're doing it to hurt.
Right.
All right. So you're hurt. Intentionally inflicting damage on your man.
Mm-hmm.
And if he were to turn around and physically inflict damage on him, the society would blame him and say he shouldn't do it. But you could be verbally violent with your child's father.
Right, which I agree. I don't want to be that way. I don't think that's fair.
Then have you had any therapy?
Now, this is a grown adult woman, and she has just confessed that she acknowledges that she has a problem with keeping her mouth in check. She is verbally abusive, yet she wants him to marry her. Now, we'll skip the fact that you've already had a child with the guy, he's already had a child with you. It is what it is. But let's focus in on this particular scenario of her saying out loud, I don't want to be that way. This is almost, well, it's not almost, it really is disingenuous, because the reality is, as a grown adult, you actually understand what you're doing. You understand your actions. You understand what you're saying when you're saying it. And for those people who are out there talking all this, well, when you're angry, or no, absolutely not. I I cannot I will never agree with that, because the reality is, at 39 years old, I have yet to utter words in anger just to hurt another person from the age of, let's see, 18. I'll give me some grace and I'll say 18. So, as I am an adult at 18 to today, I have yet to utter words of anger, of hurt through anger, just because. It doesn't make any sense. I hate apologizing. I will do it because I'm an adult. But if there is a way for me to negate having to apologize to another person simply because I was acting like a child when I am not, doesn't make any sense. So why would I go and put myself in that situation? Not only putting myself in that situation, but also adding to the result of how that person now views me. Because we all understand that even though you may forgive the person, mentally you've taken a step back. And that doesn't mean you want out of the relationship. That doesn't mean that you're never going to talk to this person again. But you just saw something that came through that you didn't like. And that's going to make you do an audit of whatever relationship you have with this person. So, all of those things, coupled with you being an adult, should be the only thing that you need to make you second guess things that you say, because it's virtually like a figurative gun with a bullet. Once you pull that trigger, you ain't catching that bullet. So I hope you know what you were doing when you pulled the trigger. But for them, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But let's see what she says.
I have, and
Okay.
it was more like church based though, so I don't.
So when these
Okay.
arguments start, see, you fight dirty. And what I'm hearing is you talk to your man like a woman.
No.
Oh yeah, you do. Because if you talk to him like you should talk to a man, you should know from a safety standpoint that you need to keep your mouth closed. See, when two men are talking, there's a low level threat of violence. If I'm sitting here talking to a man, I know there are lines. I
Right.
can't cross certain lines with any man. I don't care how big or small he is. After a certain line, we're gonna have to shoot the fair one. But
Right.
you will go damn well low because you know good and well he ain't gonna do nothing.
And that's an amazing point because many of these many of these women who like to use this as talking points, they hide behind this one word that they love to throw around like a Spartan shield in 300. Patriarchy. I'm sorry, what now? Do you want to know what patriarchy looks like? I need you to go to Sudan. I need you to go to UAE. I need you to go to all of those other places where they can't even drive, where they are one of three wives, where they don't have those rights. That's what patriarchy looks like. Patriarchy does not look like a woman can put her hands on another man and let him try to put his hands back on her, and he's going to spend a night in jail regardless to what she did. Like, let's be real. But getting back to her is, yeah, no, it's not like that. Yes, it exactly is. Because when you go out of your way to disrespect a man, talk over him, make sure he has to understand my point. Okay, but it's a dialogue. So you need to understand his just as much. But are you sitting there and listening to him so that you can understand what he says? Or are you listening for key indicators so that you can respond in reaction? Because 9 times out of 10, it's to react, not to understand. So if that's what you're doing, we are not built in the same way. We're not going to sit there and hem and haw or kick up and carry on with you all night long just because we're trying to get our point across. We're going to just say, all right, whatever, I'm out. And again, not out within the relationship, but out of this conversation. I'm going to another part of the house. I'm leaving. I'm going to the bar. I'm just going to sit in my car and listen to some punk rock. I don't know. But we just don't want to be there. This is where the peace comes in, because just because we're having an argument doesn't mean that you're still not giving me peace. Because the ability to go through, work through, and have a healthy and adult dialogue without, as he would put it, sign language, is still peaceful, because there's no animosity at the end of the day. There's no hitting underneath the belt. There's none of that. It's just, let's talk about the points, not the person. Once we talk about the points, you hit home your points, I hit home my points. Oh yeah, I guess I understand. Oh yeah, you know what? I still don't like what you said, but it is what it is. I understand. I'll make adjustments. That's how healthy relationships work. But most of them want to use conditional femininity. Oh, well, you're not getting this from me because you're not doing this. No, you're just not feminine. And it is what it is. But you need to accept that so we can start the healing process. It can't go any other way. Because if you keep lying to yourself, saying, I am feminine, but how? You're just the way you are. Your demeanor is what exemplifies what you are. And if I don't see that, I can't sign off on you with your femininity card. Sorry, not sorry. That's just the way it is. So her looking at it from this lens of, well, I'm trying to get my point across, or, oh, well, he's just not doing what he's supposed to do. Is he not? I'm just saying. It's something that you should understand, because you should. You probably weren't taught. That's okay, but that's why this space exists, so that you can understand.
Because if you talk the way if you argued with him, if you argue with a woman the way you argue with him, would you and that woman end up in a conflict?
Possibly. depends. Like, it's not necessarily like always like